There you
Hey,
go.
hey. Yeah, yeah.
Back. We're back. Let's
Evelyn
go.
Fantasy Football. I'm Charles, and who am I speaking with?
Speaking with Ron Walters, aka three-time champion of our league, Charlie, in a row.
Uh,
After,
Unfortunate but true.
yeah,
Give you
sorry about
that.
that.
All
That's
right,
funny.
so we're gonna do a waiver episode today. We haven't done one in a while. We didn't give you one week one, but we're gonna be on top of it this time. But Ryan, how did your fantasy weekend go this past weekend? Well, I
As
guess we
well.
still got Monday night games, so
Yeah, a lot of it actually does kind of depend on tonight. I guess in our league, it's I'm playing against Dowdle and Mike Evans. He needs to get me at least 16 points. So, do you think that's going to happen? I'm down
well,
117 to 1, or actually, he needs to give me 18 points. So, I'm down 117 to 100. What do you think?
it's- we're in a full PPR, so I think that's very doable.
I hope so.
And he had a bad week one, so I think he could be due for a bigger week. But I'd say it's maybe only like I give it like a 30 to 35% chance you win that.
Okay. Pretty small. Charlie and I are riding super high on Mike Evans today. I respect it. That's
18 points is a lot though. That would make him like
I know.
top 10 on the week, wouldn't it?
Yeah. But I don't know. We never know. I hope he does. Maybe a few touchdowns for him and gets a lot of targets. We'll see. How's your week going, Charlie, for fantasy?
Pretty crappy. I mean, I'm winning in like two of my leagues, but ours, that's most important. I lost Kittle last week, and then this week I lost Joe Burrow. And then on top of that, I'm just the two wide receivers that are struggling the most this year. I have both of them. I have Brian Thomas Jr. and I have AJ Brown.
Yeah.
And I high hopes for both of them coming into this year, and I am still going to give them a chance, but they both have just performed well, so I'm not feeling too good about that.
I know it's
It
kind
is
of
what it
crazy.
is.
Yeah, Philly's winning these games and even put up 20 points with just 101 yards passing from Hurts and I think just 88 yards on the ground from Barkley. So kind of insane stats for them to put up 20 points and win these games. And obviously unfortunate for AJ Brown owners for first week and second week here, but maybe he'll bounce back. I know it's usually when he kind of goes public about some of the stuff, maybe they'll give him a few more target shares, but I guess it didn't work yet for week two. So, and yeah, BTJ, it's a little bit tough so far with him and Trevor Lawrence, but I think he can bounce back as well. I like your hopes on him. So,
Yeah, I'm just going to stick with it again. It's a long season, and if you're 0-2, don't quit just yet. You know, that's what fantasy is all about. You can't win your league at your draft. You can definitely lose it. So just draft decent, and then that's why you listen to us right here, right, Ryan?
that's right. And maybe make some trades if you need to switch your team up. I'd say maybe not 0 and 2, but if you get to like that 1 and 4 mark or something, I still wouldn't say it's over, but potentially make some trades and redraft is kind of my thought process. Maybe the team needs like just a new identity or something like that, and you're the coach of it. So that'd be my thought. When do you think you would start making some trades, Charlie? Obviously, injuries are a little bit tough, but
I
in a
think it's
redraft.
right around there, yeah. Especially if you're like me, where you're injury bound. If I don't win these next 2 weeks, I'm definitely going to have to think about trading guys that I don't want to trade. Well, Burrow's probably done for the year. We'll talk about, but Kittle is someone that's out for a month.
Yeah.
So at that point, like, well, maybe you should try to get some value for him because you need to win now.
Hmm.
I started out 0-6 in our league 2 years ago and made the playoffs.
I remember that. It's
So
crazy.
it's never over till it's over.
That is true. Always have belief in your team, and you're on your team for a reason. There's a reason why you're in a fantasy football league. And yes, listen to Chuck and I. So that was a good
Definitely.
start. And yeah, obviously we'll get into some of. I mean, the injuries have been kind of crazy, but talking about the waiver wire, obviously most leagues, Wednesday is when you're able to get everybody. You put some money in if you have FOB or whatever. I'd say most people have FOB now. A day is for their fantasy football leagues tomorrow, and listen to us on who you should put some money in. You got How do you want to do this, Chuck? Do you want to go right off the board here and list one of your players that you're thinking about, or
Yeah, do you want to go like position by position?
yeah,
So
yeah,
maybe start at the quarterback if you're a guy like me that lost Joe Burrow and you need a fill-in spot. Again, they said he was going to be out at least 3 months, but I heard from the injuries is like it could be a lot longer. And if you think about 3 months from now, what that's middle of December. I think he's
it's like
droppable.
yeah.
Oh, go ahead. What were you going to say?
Are you gonna drop him, you think, Chuck?
Just because so many injuries, I'm thinking about it
Yeah,
since I already have Mixon on my spot and I have Kittle. I'm just going to be clogging up my bench for those injured guys. Yeah, I think I'm probably gonna end up dropping him. So one guy that comes to mind right off the bat is Daniel Jones, quarterback two on the year so far. Um, it's maybe more of a streaming guy, just depending on the matchup. But so far, I think he's looked really good.
yeah, he's obviously done super well. If it's Bob though, I wouldn't put a whole lot of money on him. Obviously, some if you're in super flex, he's already off the board most likely, or he definitely is. But if you're in like a 10 or 12 man league, he's probably still out there, and I do like that pickup. What do you think about either him or Joe Burrow's backup, Jake Browning? Who would you trust a little bit more?
I think I'd go Daniel Jones. He also brings that rushing upside, which I
Yeah,
like a lot.
yeah.
I
I
think he's
didn't.
by far the top like
Mhm.
quarterback guy that's widely available, but
Yeah.
never know who's out there. Just check your waivers. Some people don't roster backups. Do you have any other names that come to mind
QB
besides those two?
no, not really. Yeah, I was surprised to hear that Daniel Jones is QB2, which is kind of crazy. I know in a few leagues, I mean, Russ probably could still be out there. He's just a risky start sometimes. Maybe he found it week two, but I would say also he could be like a streaming serviceable guy too, depending on what defense they play. But he was crazy last week, and he obviously helped Malik Neighbors and some receiver will tell you to drop or to maybe pick up coming up here soon. Mac Jones, a little bit risky as well. They played the Saints, so that helped. But he had 79 yards and three touchdowns. So I wouldn't put really any money on those guys, fob wise. But if you really badly need a QB because Joey B is out and JJ McCarthy is out or benched, maybe pick up some of those guys too. And I would not recommend starting Carson Wentz. I would recommend starting any of those three over both Jake Browning and Carson Wentz. But if it really comes down to it, I guess the question, Charlie. So I'd say Russ and well, Daniel Jones probably one. If you really need a QB, then Russ maybe number two or something like that. Then out of like Mac Jones, Jake Browning, and Carson Wentz, who would you play out of those three if somebody's has to horribly choose between that?
I mean, if
Say
you have
trade. Just
to,
say trade.
yeah, I'd say trade. But if you have to choose between those three, I just want to base it off a matchup at that point. I mean, if you make it more personal based on our league, there's more guys available. So if you're at a 10 man, like we're looking at guys like Jared Goff, Jordan Love, even
Mhm.
Drake May. I'd rather have any of those three over them.
Oh
But yeah,
yeah,
I think that's probably what I'll end up doing myself since I'm a Burrow manager is I'm going to base it off ups and add drop guys. Or Ryan and I have been in trade talks too. I might go trade for Justin Fields here. So do one or the other.
yeah. I agree. That's fair. Don't even think about those back three. If you're in a 12 man league, maybe a little bit riskier, but like Charlie was saying, just matchup base. So that's good.
You want to talk about some running backs? You got any in mind, or you want to jump to the wide receivers first?
Yeah, running backs. Well, running backs is not really. I wouldn't be putting a lot of money on this too. Kind of maybe a little bit of a lower waiver wire week compared to last week. Obviously, Hollywood Brown was the number one guy last week. This week could be a little bit of kind of everybody. I mean, yeah, the Tootin guy from Jacksonville, he had 10 touches last week. And take Bigsby is gone. I think Tootin actually had a touchdown as well. So that was pretty impressive. But you don't really know for sure how that's going to go. If Jordan Mason is somehow, some way still in waivers, though, get him as well because Aaron Jones is also going to be out this upcoming weekend. I saw too. So, and probably weekends in the future. I guess that's my main one. He probably isn't in everybody's like league, he is probably still on some waivers, or especially if you're not like from Minnesota. Minnesota, he's probably everywhere. In somebody's league, he's picked up, but if you're not, he's probably available somewhere out there. So Jordan Mason's not a bad one. Other than that, yeah, like I said, maybe Tootin. Do you have any running backs you want to list off here, Charlie?
It was basically just the one that you mentioned, Tootin. I think he had 8 carries on Sunday, so
Yeah,
quite a bit actually. And then if Ramondre Stevenson's out there still, he probably got drafted, but Travion went early in draft, so there's a chance that no one wanted Stevenson, but he's
yeah.
been their main guy so far. So if he's out there, I'd actually be willing to spend like even up to 30% of my fab on him if he's out there. Otherwise, yeah, just the handcuff guys like Blake Corum, Tyler Algier, Trey
Hmm.
Benson, they're kind of the guys that are getting the most touches out of the backs. Pretty
Yeah,
pretty slim pickings, I'd say, for running backs.
I agree. The only other one maybe is Commanders running back. Who's it going to be? It will probably be Bill, or Ja'Cory, Krosky Merritt, whatever. But if Jeremy McNichols is in your waivers, maybe pick him up for low fob. There's a chance you could maybe get that starting role with Eckler out. So, or at least pass catching job. We'll see. But yeah, like Charlie was saying, not a whole lot of running backs out there. Ramondre is a good idea. Jordan Mason's a good idea. If they're both out there, other than that, they're just handcuffs aside from Tootin. So
Agreed.
that's what I got. You got some receivers, Chuck. You're talking about. There's obviously probably a decent amount out there right now. Again,
Yeah, we can alternate guys we talk about. So I'll
uh,
talk about one first here. I'll just start with my top guy, Romeo Dobbs, Jaden Reed. They said he'll be out. To say maybe 4 to 6 weeks was the initial report. I don't know if that changed, so go look it up if you really want to know the exact timeline. But Christian Watson is still out for a couple weeks here, so I think he's been playing better than Matthew Golden too. He's the Packers wide receiver one right now, so I like him a lot.
yeah, good one.
Percentage,
Yeah.
if you need wide receiver, what would you go?
Well, I mean, there's still definitely some leagues where he's out there. Wan'Dale Robinson is a big one. He obviously had a good week too. Last year, even too, just as a whole, he was ranked 11th in targets, and he's 14th right now out of all receivers. So I think that will definitely continue, and look for some big balls from him and neighbors to be thrown to. So I know maybe he's not in everybody's fantasy available like waiver wire pickups, but if he's out there, I'd put some money down towards him. So
Yeah, I guess we can give fab percentages after we get through all the guys.
yeah, that's good. I'll let you go next.
I like Io Manor, Tennessee wide receiver. He's balled out these first 2 weeks, and he's seeing around the same target share as Calvin Ridley. He had 15 points this last week on 6 targets, 7 targets week one. And he's out there majority of the time, so I like him quite a bit.
I do. Yeah, I mean, he came out of nowhere, honestly. But last year, the Titans receiver, I'm going Blake Connie, the hyphenated name too. He came out of
Oh,
nowhere and ended up getting like nine or oh Westbrook Akine. He
yeah,
ended up
yeah,
getting
yeah.
9 or 10 touchdowns. You know, they have a different QB there now, Cam Ward. But still, you never really know. They can have some backups perform really well, and so far, like you said, Adam Manor has been doing pretty good. So um my next guy I'll talk about Troy Franklin. So yeah, he so far last week he ended up having 9 targets, 8 catches, 89 yards, touchdown. So obviously a really productive week, and especially PPR wise, he's getting a lot of points there. Um, and yeah, it's kind of just puts him on a good path. He's their number 2 receiver now, so obviously behind Sutton, but you never. And Bo Nix seems to be back based on last week's game. So
Don't
again,
mind
but
that one at all. And they played together in college. They got that rapport already.
yep, that's true.
I guess that was the main guys. Some other ones, Deshaun Booty. He's kind of looking like he might be the Patriots wide receiver one, although he only had 1 target this last week. And then you got any other names, Ryan?
Yeah, no, I think we kind of hit a lot of them. If Cedric Tillman's still out there, potential, maybe put a few dollars on him. Because Joe Flacco loves to throw because they're always going to be down. And then I don't know. I did have Diami Brown. If you really are in like a 12 man or 14 man league, he was the Jags' number two receiver last week. Had a touchdown as well. So um, him and Travis Hunter, you never really know. Especially Travis Hunter might be looking a little bit better on the defensive end, defensive side of things, and receiver side of things, which could open up Brown in the future. So, but that's only if you have like a 14 man or somewhat a 12-man bad team league. So, my thoughts.
Release. Tight ends.
You want to talk about some tight ends, Chuck?
Yeah, there's not a whole lot out there. I mean, we talked about him last week. If Juwan Johnson's still out there, definitely
Yep.
go pick him up. And it's been back-to-back weeks. He's seeing a crazy target share. I think he had 9 targets this past week after like 14 in week one.
Mm-hmm.
I would say I'd be if you really need a tight end, go get him, go spend up on him because I think he's the one guy, him and Zach Ertz, that's that performing really well right now that are probably still out there.
Yep. I agree. I mean, honestly, yeah, there's kind of those two. Harold Fannin didn't do bad last week either. Uh, I mean, he had, PPR wise, he had 5 catches and 48 yards. But Njoku also had a decent week too. So, yeah, the big ones, like you said, Juwan Johnson and Zach Ertz. That's kind of all I got for tight ends. Not much else. But
Let's talk some quick fab here. If you're in need of
yeah.
a quarterback, how much would you be willing to spend on a guy like Daniel Jones or in our league, I guess like a Jordan Love, Jared Goff? How much would you be willing to spend?
With Jordan Love, definitely more. But I still probably wouldn't do more if it's like $100 league for fob. I wouldn't do more than really 10, honestly. Not even 10, probably. So I'd be probably like 7 or 8. Um, Daniel Jones, yeah, 5 at the most, if even. And then I really wouldn't spend more than $1 or 2 on any of the other QBs out there. So how about you?
Yeah, probably around the same. Again, like we said, we'd be streaming it, so you're going to need that fab for other weeks if the quarterbacks play well.
That's
I
it.
agree.
All right, running back wise, Chuck, would you really spend a whole lot on any of them unless, I mean, they already talked about Stevenson. How much, if Jordan Mason's out there, what would you do for him? I'd bet they had.
No, 70, 70, 80 fab,
I'd,
70%.
yeah, that's fair. But
I
then,
mean,
yeah,
I was just going to say, especially with Aaron Jones being hurt, he's going to be the guy. JJ McCarthy is also hurt, so yeah, they're going to be doing nothing but running the ball.
yeah. Would you spend anything on Tootin, Nichols, Algier, Cora? Probably nothing, right? Or
Buck, zero. A buck if you really want him.
on Tootin, yeah.
What about you?
Not just like $1 on Tootin, nothing else, and any of the other guys you can pick them up on like Thursday or Friday, low key. So or during the game.
Very,
Too.
very true. How about the wide receivers? Let's start with Dobbs. How much would you be willing to go?
Dobbs,
Hey, you really hurt.
I probably would do $7 or not much more than 10 for this as well. Yeah, Hollywood Brown, I would have probably done like 20 last week or 25. But yeah, Dobbs, I know it's still just a little bit up in the air with Packers players, especially with Tucker Kraft getting a lot of the target share and touchdowns too. So,
That's true. Out
but
of all these guys, Dobbs, I'd probably be willing to spend a little bit more on, like in the 15 range. But yeah,
he's also probably gone in a decent amount of leagues too. But yeah, if he is there, yeah, 10, 15 is not a bad idea. How about
great.
any other, you do more than 10 or no? Probably not.
Any other receivers? No, I don't think so. Tight ends wise, we talked about the two. I mean, if they're out there, I think I'd honestly go 30 to 40 if you really need it. But you go even that high?
I don't know. I mean, Zach Ertz, he can get up there and probably do 25 or so. Jawan Johnson's a little, maybe 20, I would say. I don't know.
Averaging over 10 targets a game, Juwan Johnson?
Gosh, I just still don't have the trust on the Saints QB. But yeah, maybe both 25-30. You'd win them, I'd say. Or it's maybe a little bit more. I'd be surprised if people spend a lot of their fob this week on waivers. But if they do, then that means they don't have a good team. Sorry.
No, I agree. It's been dry this year. Usually the first 2 weeks of the year we see some guys that you're
So
spending the big bucks on, like Kenneth Walker, Devon Achane like 2 years ago. We saw Puka Kyron 2 years ago. So we're just not getting that.
those people, I know. But maybe next week there will be somebody else down the line, or some of these guys we talked about will really be in good standing. So get them now, I would say, if you can.
I agree. No, if you need a defense, go throw a buck on these guys. The Colts play the Titans. The Seahawks play the Saints. Buccaneers will play the Jets, possibly even without Fields, and the Falcons play the. There's some defenses you could target for matchups this coming week.
Those are good. Yeah, I feel like most kickers are already healthy. Parker Romo obviously had a good week. Tyler Loop, he had a good week too. So again, yeah, kickers are kind of. Aubrey was insane. Obviously, he's not going to be anybody's waiver, but that's just besides the point. So there's some
And
guys out there.
then I was just gonna say in our guillotine league, it comes down to if anyone's in one of those, lowest score gets chopped every week. It comes down to two teams tonight in the league. If CJ Stroud puts up 15 points, he ends up being safe. But if he doesn't, we'll see his team get chopped. It'd
Yep,
be interesting.
it could be. I don't have any fobs, so uh, all my fobs gone, but I'm advancing another week because Gibbs is back and Caleb Williams. I think he'll get a lot of garbage time points, thankfully. And you
Agreed.
survived as well, Chuck. So that's good.
Barely. After getting a goose from Jaden Reed on Thursday night, I was very scared, but
Yeah.
kind of hoping for CJ Stroud to ball out this week because then that means Lamar and Derrick Henry hit the waivers. Be excited.
That'd be crazy. Because yeah, they that was wild. They won 41-17, and Derrick Henry had 2 fantasy points and Lamar didn't have much either. So
No.
it was wild. But there we go.
Alrighty. That's gonna do it for us today.
Yes, sir. Look out for starts on Friday, I would assume, or maybe tomorrow, or maybe Wednesday. So,
That's good. Well, this has been Babbling Fantasy Football. We appreciate you listening.
yep. Thank you. Have a good one. See you, Charlie.
See you around.